Yep, season 4 of Game of Thrones ended last night, so we're gonna talk about it. Yes, the finale of season 4 of Game of Thrones ended last night with quite a few significant moments. Obviously, this video is going to have major spoilers about what happened last night and what happened through season 4, so you have been warned. Game of Thrones has a tendency to save big moments to the second to last episode of the season and then save the last episode for wrap-up. In this 4th season, the last 3 episodes contain crucial events and inevitably crucial deaths. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who feels this way, but it seems that the last episode of each season of Game of Thrones doesn't feel as epic or as satisfying as it should. In this season, the 8th and 9th episodes are very good. The 9th one especially because it all took place at the Wall. But for some reason there seemed to be something lacking in the final episode even though a lot happened. Maybe it is just me because I knew a couple things that were going to happen, including Tywin Lannister's death, which was intentionally spoiled for me. But what was unintentionally spoiled for me was how he died. That is why you don't post spoilers on Facebook. However, I didn't know that Shay was going to die, and apparently that was another major death, but I just found the whole Shay Tyrion thing really weird, so I didn't really care. And then there's this thing with Stannis going to the Wall and meeting up with Jon Snow, and then there's the whole thing with Bran and evil skeleton things, and then he finally meets the three-eyed raven. And then Daenerys' dragons are being reckless and she has to lock them up, and yeah. Another big thing that happens is the Hound and Brienne have a epic sword fight that apparently doesn't happen in the books, and Brienne technically beats the Hound, and the Hound is basically dying, and then Arya just leaves him for dead, which is nice, and takes his money as well. I used to really like Arya, but now she's really starting to annoy me. She could have gone with Brienne, but no, she just goes off and ends up on a boat, and that's how the finale ends. So maybe I was just disappointed because I knew some stuff that was gonna happen, but I don't know. But I do think it was better than the season 3 finale, but that had to, come after the Red Wedding, so it's understandable. I don't know, maybe you guys could tell me if I missed something or if it just seems so jam-packed with stuff. And I know it's hard because there's so much stuff from the books that, they're trying to get into the show, but in terms of a season as a whole, season 4 was pretty good. A lot of death, which is expected, but it got rid of 2 very important Lannister characters. I think we all know what the highlight was. So happy Joffrey's dead. Anyway, it was a decent season for character development as well, specifically with Sansa. I mean, she's awesome now. She's my favorite because I don't like Arya anymore, so good job. I think my favorite part of season 4 was Oberyn. Pedro Pascal plays him, and he did such a good job. He's kind of scummy and full of himself, but at the same time, he was like a breath of fresh air, oddly enough. Someone who just didn't care what he said, just did what he did, and unapologetically hated the Lannisters, which is good enough for me. So I'd say that season 4 was okay. Very memorable deaths, but it really does make you realize how much there is to the world that George R.R. Martin has created. And I know that there's even more stuff in the book, but it's starting to feel like that the TV show's getting crowded as well. I'm glad that they did all of episode 9 at the Wall. That was a really good episode, but at the same time it just felt like that they couldn't afford to do that because there just seemed like so much other stuff to resolve. I wish they could do 13 episodes for a season, but I realize that it's probably too late to do that. And another thing, my friend who has read the books told me that last night's episode took quite a few liberties, and apparently there's one event in particular that should have taken place at the end of this season, but it didn't, obviously. Since it is a spoiler from the book, I don't really want to mention it because I don't want to spoil anything that hasn't been in the show yet for people who haven't read the books, because technically I haven't either. But I will say it has to do with something that happens towards the end of season 3. And the same friend who's read all the books wasn't really happy with last night's episode, so I'd be curious to see who else feels that way. Maybe it's coming to the point that they're not taking the right things from the book and putting them in the show, because just from what I heard, that there was a lot of stuff in the books that should have been in this episode but weren't, so maybe that's why I was disappointed as well. But again, I haven't read the book, so I can't really say. So with that long-winded review coming to a close, what did you guys think? Any expectations for next season? Do you think the show is still going strong, or do you think it's running out of steam? Whatever you think, let me know. We have a year to ponder. We even have a year to read the books, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, that is it for me. I hope you guys are having a lovely day, and I hope you find something else to fill the void that will be the Game of Thrones hiatus. So good luck, and I will see you soon. Toodles!